what day is it? 27th, I want to say. Yeah, Monday 27th. Really excited to tell y'all a little bit about this last challenge or overnight. I'm sorry. It was more like a challenge, to be fair, because we had to go through so much stuff just to get to the Airbnb. I never told y'all how much stuff we had to go through to, like, in order to get to the Airbnb. So, first off, I would say I got online and booked it, and it was that Train Locomotive Airbnb, and it was located in Sallisaw, Oklahoma. If y'all are locals in Oklahoma, somewhere around the whole entire state, I highly suggest for y'all to go visit Sallisaw, Oklahoma. I've been there dozens of times, have really good, matter of fact, that's where that's where my parents went with me to help, like, get my vehicle. My old vehicle. I have a new one now, but my older one, like maybe a year ago, they helped me go there, and they have like several car dealerships there. But anyway, they have really good food, like really good restaurants. They have a lot of good barbecue restaurants. I know, Oklahomans, don't really care about seafood. Me personally, I love seafood. Put a plate of shrimp or snow crab, that like really expensive stuff, I'll eat the whole entire thing. I love Italian. They have a good Italian restaurant in Sallisaw too. Haven't ever been to it, but I heard that it's really good. But, I'm more of a seafood kind of guy. A lot of people from Oklahoma, I'm from Oklahoma also, but I'm down from like the boonies in Oklahoma. So I'm not from around where I am today. I was actually, I don't really remember where I was before I moved where I am today, but I am in Oklahoma, and I am from Oklahoma, but that was basically just, like, I've been a seafood kid my whole entire life, I love seafood, but anyway, but back on subject, they have really good food. Just go there and visit, because they have really good attractions, like insane, like, monuments and statues there that you will, like, every Oklahoman wants to see, right? They have tree statues, every Oklahoman wants to see that, I'm sure. I know I would. That stuff's cool. Artifacts, They don't have any historical landmarks, I guess what you would say. I think the most historic thing was, like, their courthouse or something, but, I'm not from Sallisaw, so I don't really know. But they do. I was looking at like cool Airbnbs, because we did stay the night in an airplane Airbnb before. That wasn't in our state though. That was when me and my parents actually went on a vacation. It wasn't in it was in Maryland last year, and so when we went to Maryland, we went to the airplane Airbnb, and we stayed there for a few nights, and after that we kind of just got a hotel, and then we came back. But that Airbnb was like super cool, really 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 nice. I forgot the address, but it was like off in the woods. This one was the same exact thing, a train locomotive. I think its story was that there was an old rail that went through like those trees and stuff. Give me one second, hold on. Yeah, okay, sorry about that. There was an old trail that went through all the trees and the woods and stuff down in those wooded areas. And after a little while went on, it's just like fossils, after the dinosaurs went extinct, there's just like sedimentary rock and stuff that forms over the fossils, and it just keeps on building. That's kind of what happened with this railroad. So it got super bad, and then apparently they said they dug it up and they just cut that piece of the rail off and locked the train into the rail. I think by like welding it or something like that. I can't really remember, but now it's an Airbnb. Really, really, really nice rooms inside of it. The outside kind of looks like it's really ghetto, really, a place that people would like go to die. But to be honest, it was really nice inside. It had a queen size bed. I mean, two queen size beds. My bad. And it had a couch, and the kitchen area was pretty small, but for someone who is only staying in there for a night, it's perfectly fine. But anyway, back to the trouble that we were having to order our nights at this Airbnb. So basically, we try to schedule our stuff way ahead of time. So I'm gonna say it was probably around May that we booked our stay in this Airbnb. And then we actually figured out that if you book it closer to your time of arrival to the Airbnb, the stay will be cheaper. But we were like, well, we already booked our stay. We can't go back and do it. So it's been ordered for like around, the beginning of May. So it's July, like right at the end of July now. So we planned on, doing that. And we stayed in there for 2 nights, and it was really awesome. The layout was just really cool, but the trouble part was when I actually got on the website. First I looked it up on Facebook and Instagram and seen if there was anything on there. There was a tiny bit of stuff. And of course, we brought our black light that we have, because I actually bought a black light. If y'all seen the video of me going into Walmart and buying a black light, and that was in I'm pretty sure that was in the fake employee video at the beginning of this month. And we went into Walmart and we got a black light. And actually, we turned off the lights to the locomotive, and we were looking around to see if there was any weird stuff on the bedding or on the walls or anything like that. We couldn't really find much. There was a little bit of something on one of the pillows in there that we think was hopefully drool. We don't know what it was. So of course I packed pillowcases, so I just threw a pillowcase over it, called it good. But the beds were really comfortable. All around, really cozy vibe. There, the lamps. One of the light bulbs and one of the lamps were like flickering. But we just didn't turn the lamp on. We turned the other lamp on. Now I want to get into the crazy stuff, but let me just get to the chase here. So when I was actually on the website after looking on Facebook and Instagram on the locomotive, it was super hard to schedule the nights that we wanted, because they do like fee bounces. Like if you're staying 1 night, it's gonna be this price on this night, but if you're staying 2 nights, it's gonna be this price this night and this price this night. So they're both 2 different prices on each night. So you can have the option to pay up front online. So like send money through Cash App to directly to the owner of the Airbnb, which isn't what we done. Or you can do credit. They didn't have an option for debit, so we had one of my parents actually use their credit cards to book our nights, and then I just paid them for all of that. And so actually after, basically they got all their money back after they helped book the stay in the Airbnb. We actually, it was pretty hard to just get on to the site itself, because it's like hidden. If you've ever been on the dark web, it's kind of like the dark web, to be honest. So onto the crazy stuff. The first night that we were there, everything was going good. We actually brought a charcoal grill, and before that we had bought some hamburgers, and I was actually outside. It was me and Alex. We were outside. Well, Alex wasn't doing anything. He was just sitting on his phone, literally taking pictures of trees and whatnot. Actually, I think he was on FaceTime, but it was something like that. But I was actually grilling the burgers, and we actually got an air fryer, so I was air frying the fries at the moment. And around this time, we're in the time where the sun, stays out much longer, and I've heard where that's actually gonna be a law now. Thank God that the sun stays out longer. If all the states vote on it, and more of them like it than dislike it, so hopefully, hopefully it'll work. Hopefully they'll be able to. But anyway, basically, we were outside, and it was just me and Alex that were outside at the moment, and we walked, like we were walking around, not super far, probably around the premises of the locomotive, and there was the grill. Of course, the grill had like the flames going up on the charcoal because I didn't have the lid closed, because why would you close the lid with open flames when you have, it's just gonna like backdraft off of it and then get back all over your, you don't want those griddly, burgers. So I didn't close the lid, of course. Sorry, thought I heard something. Anyway, so all of a sudden, we got back. We both were sitting down. I was getting those little tongs and flipping the patties. And right as soon, because I got the knife and I was cutting into one to see if it was done, and I had that little Thurnis, but I realized that Thurnis didn't work for the meat, so I was just seeing if it was like pink or anything. And right as soon as I like put the knife into the meat, I heard like 5 sticks, like not like 5 sticks, I mean like 5 branches, not like breaking in half, but like falling off of the trees. And after they fell off the trees, I heard them like snap. Like I was like, so, and that sounded like it may have been like, it was pretty faint, to be honest. It didn't sound like it was right there by us. Maybe a mile, maybe like a half a mile away. But, that would be like, what would that be? 2.5, 3 football fields. But keep in mind, there's all kinds of trees. All there is, there's so much stuff blocking our line of sight. And we only have like one little porch light on the front of that locomotive. But we brought our lanterns. And I got like a magnetic light that can stick to the grill. So it's pretty lit up out there at the moment. And we have like little torches, like tiki torches, for the mosquitoes, because they got really bad, but they weren't really giving off any light. And we heard that noise, so, we were like, what is that? We don't really know. And after a while, we were just thinking, it's just branches falling off trees. No need to worry about it. It's nothing to worry about. And after, I would say 15, 20, possibly actually, but probably around like 25 minutes, 25 to 30, we were inside, but we had the door open because we were wanting to try to get some of because it's a small place. When you bring your fresh cooked burgers in, it's gonna like smell the whole place up with like burgers, and we didn't really want it to smell like that. So we were opening up the door, trying to get as much ventilation as possible. And when we open up the door, keep in mind it's pitch dark now. We didn't have any light on out there except for the porch light, and I accidentally forgot that my magnetic light was on the grill still, and I left it on. Now, I walked out, and so I was going to get the magnetic light, and I realized it was like, I don't know, it was just like cracked all the way open, like the light itself. And so when I went to go pick it up, I took it off the grill, and I'm pretty sure that I was pretty dumb for doing this, because the grill was like really hot. I'm thinking it probably like, I don't know, melted the magnet, and that's probably why it cracked the light. But anyway, I turned it off, and I realized our tiki torches were gone. Like, they weren't there anymore. And they were there when we went back into the Airbnb, but we blew them out. And then I like flashed the light over there where they were both at, and they were gone. The holes in the ground where they were at were still there, but they were both gone. So we were like, you know what? Maybe there's like a park ranger out here or something that doesn't like for any of those to like be left out, in case for like fire reasons. Wildfires can spread. We haven't had rain in a while. It can get really dry. And then we were like, no, there can't be a park ranger, because this is private property for the Airbnb owner. and the Airbnb guests. So a park ranger can't come up here and take something off of property that's private. That'd be like a city cop going into a homeowner's yard in the middle of a small town and taking their mailbox off of their house. So we were like, a park ranger can't do that. I mean, maybe someone else did. Maybe someone else walked up here and we just didn't hear them. And maybe off in the distance, like a little bit, probably around the same exact, I don't know, maybe half a mile away. Then again, we heard the snap. And it was one snap, then it was the second snap. And then we were like, is that our, like, we immediately thought of our tiki torches. And the reason why we immediately thought of our tiki torches was because they were both gone and there were 2 snaps. We were like, bro, who would take our tikis and snap them? Because those things are not cheap. Let's just be honest. Those things are not cheap at all. And so at this point, we weren't really scared. We were just like, well, that's bad luck, because why would our tiki torches just automatically just up and leave? Like that. They can't. Someone physically has to take them, and they're not just tipped over because they'd be right here on the ground. So we were like, we were just kind of like flabbergasted at this point. We didn't really know what was going on. So at this point, we were just like, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. We walked back in. The locomotive actually had a roof hatch up at the top. So we went to go close it. And then we closed the door because at this point, all the ventilation that we needed was already in. We hooked up the PS5 to the TV. Well, it was already hooked up, but we turned it on. And we actually got on and started playing. And this part actually wasn't in the video, but if y'all watch the video, the tiki torch part and the tree limb part was in the video. But the part where we turned on the PS5 and started playing for like the first 5 minutes wasn't in the video. It kind of just cut from the scene with us walking in and like telling y'all what happened to us sitting on the couch with our remote controls. So I'm sorry about that. I don't really think, I can't really remember if anything happened in that point that Alex would have had to edit anything out of the video. Maybe someone said something bad, or maybe there was music on the PlayStation that would have, like, I don't know, done something to the video, maybe like a copyright strike. Who knows? But, I know Alex wouldn't have just edited that out for no reason. So I don't usually watch the videos without them being edited unless there's like a really big video or a really big deal. I don't usually watch it. I just give it to Alex and say, here you go ahead and edit away. So hey, lay down, you're over there scratching your cage, bro. Anyway, so when we got back, when we got done playing the PlayStation, I don't know why I said back. When we got done playing the PlayStation, we were actually playing, I think we were playing Roblox on PlayStation. And we started watching like YouTube videos over, it was actually, since we were thinking, oh, we're in the middle of the woods, let's go ahead and get a little scared. So we were like, you know what? We're going to turn on Mr. Ballin' in the middle of the woods in a locomotive, and we don't have any idea who's out there. 2 bars of cell service, 1 phone charger for 3 people, 3 cameras. So we, at this point, we were just trying to have as much fun and make the best of it as we could, So we got on YouTube and we started watching Mr. Ballin', and it was the one of like the ghost town and stuff like that and funny stuff. It was one of his not so scary videos, but it kind of still could, scare some people, I guess, if they're in the middle of nowhere in a train locomotive with no idea if anyone's around. But this is where the really crazy part comes in. So I fell asleep. Now, we actually propped the camera up above the door looking down on us so it can get a good angle of the TV and the bed and the couch, because I was on the bed, Alex was on the couch. And after, we were just watching TV for a little bit, I kind of got a little tired. I fell asleep. I think we all did, to be honest. And it was around, I would say, probably 3:15 in the morning, I heard like a, I don't know, like a ear sound. Like if you ever got a tree limb and scratched it up against something metal, you know, it kind of like hurts. I don't even like that noise at all. It kind of like hurts my ears, like the screeching noise. I didn't think a single thing of it at first. Everyone else was asleep except for me. I didn't think anything of it. I heard the noise. I was like, "Is that the TV?" I realized the TV wasn't even on Mr. Ballin anymore. I can't remember who it was on. I don't even think I've ever seen that YouTube channel to begin with. But I'd have no idea who the TV was on YouTube, and the scratching was like really faint, but it was like, and then I realized every tree got cut back like 5 yards away from the locomotive because people don't want, you know, trees falling on them in their sleep. So 5 yards away, it was like 5 to 10 yards. So we were like, no tree limbs can hang down. And at this point, all of us are alert and awake now, wondering what it is. You know, we get a little scared at this point. Have no idea. We dial the authorities. So we dial 911, but we never actually call them. We only dial it in case something happens that we need to call 911. We were gonna call them and just tell them, you know, there's been strange stuff happening. It's not just us, you know. There's something scratching on the Airbnb, you know. All of a sudden it stopped, and then it went again, then it stopped, then it went again, then it stopped. I had no idea what it was. None of us dared go outside and look to see what it was. None of us had any weapons. All there were a few knives and no one had like a pistol or anything like that, which, I mean, we can't. I have multiple firearms, but I can't take them on me, like places like that. But so we didn't use any knives. We didn't go and get any knives because we didn't think that it was something like that was happening, like someone was trying, like, after to get us or something. All of a sudden, we opened up, like, we peeked out of the window just a little bit. We couldn't see anyone moving or anything. We couldn't even see a shadow from the porch light that was still on. But we realized that there was a tiny little shadow that looked like a tree limb leaning up against the Airbnb. So we're like, what could that even be? Guess what it was? I guarantee you'll get it on the first try. I guarantee you. Let me take a sip. Try to guess it before I get done. It was the tikis. They were snapped in half. So we were like, I don't know if this is like a threat, like someone telling us that they're gonna like do something to us if we stay here much longer, or if it's someone pulling a prank, because no one just comes over here, grabs tikis out of the ground, snaps them in half after going like 10 yards away, or like a half a mile away, and then comes back and leans the remains of the tikis up against Airbnb. No one does that. And so the wind was kind of rocking the Airbnb, and I'm pretty sure that's why we kept on hearing the screeching noise. But the thing that got me was I was awake before I started hearing the noise. I was already awake like 2 minutes before I started hearing that. So that means I was awake when whoever it was brought them there. So that means, and this time it was maybe like 2-3 minutes until we figured out that it was the tiki torches. So we were like, well, whoever brought these here are close still, because that was literally on like 2 minutes ago since I started hearing the scratching noise, and since we learned that it was the tikis. So we're like, who could it be? Like, why are they doing it? So then again, we got our phone, or I got my phone, and I actually put 911 again. Didn't dial it because I wasn't for sure if, you know, maybe those tikis had been laying there. I mean, who knows? Maybe those tikis had been laying there and I just didn't see. I was tired. It was a good possibility, you know. I was off, you know, doing stuff all day. I'm tired right now, but who knows? You know, maybe I was hallucinating a little bit when I was grilling, and when I walked out and saw that the tiki torches were gone, maybe they were just leaned up against the Airbnb, but we didn't snap them in half. So then again, and it was like a clear snap, like a human snapped it like in half, because it was like right in the middle of the tiki. So we were really confused at this point. We were probably more confused than scared, but we were just like, we're just gonna go to sleep. We were thinking about bringing the tikis in. We were just like, yeah, you know what, I'm not gonna bring the tikis in. They ended up actually falling over, and that morning we woke up. We had they have like a little radio going on the top of the Airbnb, like the little cabin of the locomotive. And so when we woke up, we kind of just turned on the radio just a little bit, and it had like a Bluetooth setting. So we turned on the Bluetooth setting, and that's when we started doing like the challenges, like for like we were doing a hide and seek challenge. And think of it like this room that I'm in right now. My living room is probably, I don't know, from the chair to where I'm sitting right now is probably, which is, well, that's probably where my living room ends, which is the chair. Y'all can see it because y'all have a green screen on. But I'm gonna say my living room is probably around 40, 50, 60, 70, 75 square feet, maybe 75, 80 square feet, somewhere around there. It's a decent sized living room. So I'm going to say that the Airbnb was probably 35, 45, in between 35 and 45 square feet. It was smaller than my living room, of course. So there wasn't many places for someone to hide, but we were doing like hide and seek, and we were doing like loser dares, and we had like pillow fights and stuff like that, and like it was just challenges like that, and it was pretty fun. And so we woke up and we started doing those, and from what I can remember, we went outside and the tikis were still laying there, and we had one of our friends come out, and because our friend works with a DoorDash service down there, and so we DoorDash food, and we asked him if he can be the one that brings it out, and that while he's gone, if he can pick up some tiki torches at the store there in town, and we'll give him a huge tip when he comes and brings them. So it was like, yeah, I can do that. So he got here with the tikis. These tikis were like heavy metal, like a metal rod with a wooden like tip with a metal flame activator with the, I don't know, like with the little wick on top of it for you to like light to light it. And so we're like, you know what, if these snap, we got some serious issues, because these are pretty good quality. This is pretty good quality metal. We stuck them in the ground exactly where our old tikis were, and a crawdad actually literally came out of the hole before we put it in. Like a crawdad literally came up out of the hole. And so, we were kind of thinking, whoa, maybe it was just the crawdad that like dug it up, because they weren't down really deep, but we were like, let's be real, crawdads, they don't have that much strength, and they for sure can't break one in half. So after a while, we were just goofing off the rest of the day, hitting some controls in the control cabin, which was like this big in width, maybe. Space for your legs and a space for the little desk. Not big at all. The camera doesn't do the justice of how big I'm holding my hands up, though. So it's probably like this big. And so right here, you probably had room for like the desk, and right here you had room for like your feet in the chair. And there were two sides of it. And you would hit your control panel and stuff like that. Now, it was an older locomotive cabin. No, it was a locomotive cabin, so it had like older stuff inside of it, of course, but most of its controls were like ripped out anyway, to avoid like electrical issues and fire hazards. But yeah, that was basically the gist of the creepy stuff that happened, because after that night, the next night that we stayed there, nothing really happened, and we almost ended up pulling an all-nighter there at that point. So yeah, it was a really good run on this challenge. And guys, I am tremendously sorry and confused myself. An AT&T tower, or just like a regular tower that AT&T phones run off of, so yeah, basically an AT&T tower, went down, not like physically like fell, but like the internet services inside of the, like, that was stored at the tower, like surged out, and all of the internet services to all the phones in a certain amount of radius fell and went up to satellite connection. So I didn't realize that I was in satellite connection, and I had already intended to post the PowerX overnight list for August yesterday, because it's the 27th. I told y'all yesterday in a post that it didn't post, and I'm super sorry, and that I had it set to post in a few hours after that. Well, it turns out it still didn't post, and the reason why I didn't post was another power surge on the tower or something like that. That's what I heard on Facebook. It should be coming out today. I actually set it to come out around, let's see, okay, I think I had it set to come out around like 4 o'clock. So it should be coming around that time. So just try not to worry or stress that, it hasn't been made or it hasn't been updated yet, because if y'all haven't known, which I've made several posts about this on Discord, and because a lot of people have been asking me, and this is kind of cool actually, in my opinion, I have made, like, so for instance, the very first list that I made, which was, I can't even remember when I started doing overnights. I think it was like, I don't know, late 2024, but we didn't do them barely any at all. And so we really started getting into it late 2025. So I'm going to say August, probably around August or September. We didn't make a list for September, though, because we had already had the Power 20 and PowerX channels. Hold on. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, because we already had those channels, so we really didn't post anything. Hold on, someone keeps texting me, and if they keep texting me, I'm actually gonna explode, okay? So hold on. Give me a sec. Oh my gosh, it's knocking off my screen. Oh my god, bro. I had one of my old, or one of my videos that I recently posted on Power 20 on. So, basically, yeah, that's, I never even told y'all, text again. Oh my god. Hold on again, please. This is gonna be, okay, hold on. This is gonna be the last time, and I'm just gonna stop responding, okay? I promise. I'm sorry. I promise. I'm probably about to just have to stop this live stream, to be honest, because nothing's there. I don't know, it's acting like so laggy. I'm so sorry. But, anyway, I think I got it on hand. So, from the very first, the point is, the very first, overnight list y'all haven't noticed, but the very first list that I posted, it was like blue and pink, and it had like lightning bolts, and it was showing, you know, where we were going. And our first overnight was overnight on Bowling Alley. That was our very first overnight that we posted. And so, y'all may not know this, but that list is the same exact list that y'all are seeing right now. Like the July list that I made, that is the same exact list that I had made before. That pink and blue list. Y'all don't know, but it is literally the same exact list. I've just revamped it every single month. So the list that y'all recently seen, the most recent, which was that blue and purple, and it was like 18 plus, something to make 24 hour. That one is literally the same exact list as what you saw a year ago. So for our very first overnight, that is same exact list. We literally just revamped it every single month and redone like the lettering and positioning of stuff. And the one before that was the purple and black with the Target and Buc-ee's logo. I think that was it. I can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure that was it. That is the same exact that is the same exact list as what the blue and purple one was. It's just revamped, so y'all can't really tell. So it's just a really cool thing because I do want to say the August list is the very first overnight nation list that hasn't been the blue and purple one. This is a brand new, fresh list. We have been using the same exact list, but just revamping it every single month for a year. I think it's time that we made a new list completely. And I guarantee y'all don't even see a difference, because how would y'all be able to see a difference when it gets revamped every single month? It's literally just going to look like a different layout like it does every single month. Because if you realize, last year we kind of went with a neon blue, pink, nothing much to it, with the lightning strikes, with the overnight nation on top, and then the list down below. That's literally all we went with. And then the Halloween list, which was the Scare-a-thon thing that we done, which was basically just like the overnight, like, scary places, like the abandoned insane asylum and stuff like that. That's when we went on those. Those were actually pretty freaking scary, I'm not even gonna lie. I really don't want to have to do that again this Halloween, because that was really scary. But when we did those, that was, also the same exact list as the one before, but we changed the color to a matte black background with matte orange and purple writing. So even though it's the same exact list as the very first one y'all saw, it doesn't look anything like it. It's totally different. So y'all aren't going to be able to even tell, oh, this is a new list. It may have a different layout. I'm not going to say anything about it, because I kind of like doing these lists and showing y'all, because I want y'all to like kind of figure out what it looks like. But I'm just going to tell y'all, guys, everything in this list is totally revamped, totally 2026. Let me just tell y'all that. Everything in this list, y'all can definitely tell, is 2026. I just want to tell y'all that. Everything in this list is much more sharp and much more clear than the July list and the April list and just every single other list, because all of those lists were the same list. And as y'all maybe remember, I went from like the neon for our very first list to kind of like a matte, like a matte finish, matte colors on the list. And then I was getting into the 3D, kind of like duller colors. And then it was the April list. April list was the start of the kind of like glass look, the liquid glass, kind of like the new iPhone update. Everything is kind of like liquid glass now. That's what it kind of looks like, and that's kind of what it's been like ever since April, because that's what I kind of like on the lists. Let me just tell you, the August list doesn't have almost anything that these lists have. you're gonna absolutely love the August list. You know, it's just, it has a brand new update, it has a brand new design, it has brand new. It's just so good. You know, there's not really another word to describe it except good, because it's so good. It's just easily laid out and formatted. So you just, yeah, it's really nice. But yeah, this is the very first list that I've actually, well, this is the second list I've actually done. Because the first one was just the first one revamped on up until July 27th. The August list is going to be a brand new, fresh design. So, yeah, so don't worry about that. We also just changed our logo. I'm going to have to get off here because I got to do something. But guys, I'm going to see y'all later. I'm probably not going to be on live stream again, but I'll be on live stream Wednesday probably, because I'm going to go into work tomorrow at the detail shop that I work at. So, guys, I love y'all.